How's it going, guys? It's interesting. I was, on LinkedIn, I think it was yesterday, and I saw how Dr. Schmalone, started posting about his removal from from Twitter. And I basically said that, we have to fight these Soviet-style people with every fiber of our being. And there was a guy, also, I guess you could tell he's a former Soviet citizen, but he lives in London. And he told me that, this is basically, the social media stuff is akin to, it's basically worse than what was done in the Soviet Union. I said, it's not quite. But I said that the irony is that had the Soviets been around today, they would basically take a flamethrower. If you guys ever seen the movie Scent of a Woman, where at the end of the movie, at the last speech, Al Pacino's character, he's like, if I was had my eyesight, and if I could, if I was 30 years younger, I'd take a flamethrower to this place. So guys, if the Soviets were here, they would take a flamethrower to woke culture, to the people that are part of it. I'm not going to name who they are because I don't want to get deplatformed, but I can tell you they would take a flamethrower to this stuff. That's the irony of the whole thing. So all that was left essentially was just kind of like, they created this, I guess, Sodomite, not Sodomite, but Sodomite, like Sodom and Gomorrah culture, and they implemented with Soviet tactics, by way of Soviet tactics. That's what they're doing, my friends. That's why you can't really even call this necessarily even communism. It's more like, like they call it cultural Marxism, but it's just, I call it Sodom and Gomorrahism, implemented with the kind of demonic methods of that the Soviets used, that the Soviets, employed. So, my friends, but it's crazy. So now you're going to have another one of these guys. First you had Dr. Shmukala going on Shmogan. And now you're going to have Dr. Schmalone going on Shmogan. Joe Schmogan, for those of you guys don't know. And, guys, the only thing that's left to do is bring Dr. Shmalenko. My friend is going to laugh at this. That's the only thing that's left to do. Bring Dr. Shmalenko on the Rogan program. Right? And at that point, my friend Ephraim says that his brother is, that Shmogan is not going to be able to kind of process what his brother is saying. He doesn't have the background. He doesn't have, what we call the lashon, the I guess the verbiage, terminology, the understanding of just basic, what's called Pshat Torah. And I said, you don't really need that. He can go and he can explain. Here's what the Torah says. Here are the archetypes. Here is what, here's where society is supposed to be. Here's what we've gotten away from. Here is where we are today, which is basically, what Dr. Shmalenko likes to call, sociopathic pagans, right? And he could just start naming names. He can start calling them by names. He can say, Schmab, Santa Claus Schmab. He can say, Bill Schmates. He can just start naming names, guys, because ultimately, guys, we have to essentially go for broke here. We saw the Schmilane Schmaxwell trial, and that went nowhere. I mean, she's guilty. Whoop-de-doo. Guys, I mean, the whole point of it was not about her. We understand that, right? Everybody and their grandmother knows that. The whole point was to release these names. And my friends, these people were involved in science. I mean, they were involved in science and research and funding and whatever it is. They were also involved, my friends, in science corruption. You know, today we had a guy, actually today, the latest Schmogan episode, it was Dr. Abramson, this guy from Harvard, and he basically said, you know, you have these peer-reviewed things, schmear-reviewed things, right? And the schmear reviewers never see full data. The only people that see the full data are the schmarma companies, right? Which means that the doctors are seeing basically, you know, incomplete information. And the doctors, as I was telling my friend, who has a friend who's a doctor in Florida, I said, the doctors, these poor doctors, they are being, my friends, they are being duped. They are being, either coerced, threatened, duped, you know, being kept in the dark, and essentially they're being tortured. Not like tortured like, you know, Iron Maiden, but tortured like, you know, I had talked to a friend today. She just graduated medical school. She's a doctor in Florida, and she's like, you know, see, I don't have, you know, meanwhile we're hanging by, doctors and hospitals are hanging by a thread. I'm like, I know, they've turned you guys, they've weaponized you guys, essentially. They're using you, they're duping you, and they're weaponizing you. I told her that. And they're torturing you. She's like, on that note, she agreed because she's just tired, right? And then she joked with me. She's like, sometimes I wish I went to law school instead of medical school. I'm like, okay, listen, you know, my friends, I mean, and it's interesting, you know, I look at Israel, right? Everybody thinks that, nobody realizes that, like, Israel is the first one to get the schmoosters. Israel are the first ones to get the, you know, now they're getting the pills, right? My friends, nobody realizes that, like, you know, like, everybody thinks that, like, Israel is, like, this startup nation, and they're so fast, they're so quick to get everything. My friends, you know why they're so fast and so quick to get everything? It's not because of the startup nation. It's not because of this high-tech, medical high-tech. My friends, they're not creating any of the, you know, the Schmeiser stuff. They're not creating that, my friends. You know why they're doing this? Because Israel is the world's schmab, my friends. This is verbatim from Shmurla. They're the laboratory of the world, my friends. They are the laboratory of the world. This is verbatim. It's not an expression. It's not a thing to say. It's something that Shmurla said literally, my friends. So what I've been telling my friends and family, basically since the beginning of this whole thing, since a few months ago when they rolled out the you-know-whats, I said, watch what's going on in Israel today. I said literally, like, listen to me because I was in Israel. And then count about 2 or 3 months from now, and then that's what's going to happen in wherever it is that you live. Probably America is usually kind of the, you know, the second place to be the experiment, right? My friends. And now Israelis, I'll tell you guys something. Israelis, oh, bad signal. Am I coming in okay? My friends, now Israelis are, they're fed up. You go on the Facebook page of the Ministry of Health of Israel, my friends. First of all, what did the Ministry of Health do? Dr. Shmalon, who himself get infected, and then come home and infect the elders. My friends, that is by definition child sacrifice. I just described it to you. This is what they're doing. They're doing a Moloch, the biggest Moloch ceremony. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Yeah, guys, so this is essentially the biggest Moloch ceremony in the history of mankind. And this is what they're doing. And, I don't know, guys. We'll see. Listen, you know, Dr. Shmalon is going to go on Rogan. He's going to try to clear his name. He's going to try to clear some things up. You know, he's got his patents, which nobody bothered to look up because they're just wonderful journalists. Listen, guys. You know, we'll see. Maybe Dr. Shmalenko will go on Rogan, but B'ezrat Hashem, before that happens, guys, we're going to try to talk to him here. We're going to try to talk to him, and I'm going to see if I can go deeper into this whole idea with Dr. Shmelenko. And yeah, we're going to try to bring something to the people that even other interviews that Dr. Shmelenko has done with other people have not managed to bring out. Let's put it that way. We got something up our sleeve. Let's put it this way, guys. Anyway, guys, all right. I can see I have a bad signal here, and nothing to do with Facebook. It's my phone. And all right, so let's see what happens. Oh, tonight, guys, catch. B'ezrat Hashem will be going live with Ephraim, the assistant, what I call minesweeper, the brother of Dr. Shmelenko. I'm going to be as is, and Ephraim is going to be in. You'll see. Ephraim is afraid to be on camera, but he will be on camera, but in a different form. And it should be interesting. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Fun times.